Hi, everyone. This is just a brief exercise because a lot of times when we talk about the sixth fetter, we talk about the collapsing of distance between the external visual field out there and then what feels like it's here at zero distance or very, very close. And a lot of times people have a difficult time getting that sense and feeling that kind of perspective move. And I think I figured out a way of making it a little bit more immediate to experience this. So we're going to try this together and we'll see what happens. Um, I would like you, first of all, to relax because this sort of looking doesn't really work if you are intensely focused or if you're feeling that sense of contraction, because that feeling of tension, that contraction is reinforcing the sense of a me or a witness or some sort of experiencer who is here in the body or somewhere in here. And so relaxation helps to relax some of those feelings of being the one who is doing this or witnessing it or, here as a subject compared to everything else out there. So relax the body, take some deep breaths, and just let everything go. And what I would like us to do is to, when you're ready, close your eyes and get a sense of where the visual field is. You will probably feel like it's happening somewhere behind the eyes or at the level of the eyes, at the front perspective of where the eyes are. And first of all, notice why you're experiencing that. Even with them closed, you'll probably notice some sort of color or shading or blurry moving colors, something like that. So just notice where that is happening. And notice, first of all, is there something which seems to be seeing that from a distance? Does there seem to be something which is viewing that internal visual field from someplace even further back? Once you have a feeling for that and have a feeling for just how close this um, view with the closed eyes is, I would like you to leave the left eye closed and open your right eye. And with the right eye, I want you to have a gentle gaze. So sort of partial periphery, just kind of a flat, easy view of the whatever is in front of you. And I want you to not only, well, first of all, notice that it's a tendency of ours to completely disregard the visual field in the part where the eye is closed. And so we start to see basically just a partially two-dimensional view of what is in front of us already. And that really takes precedence in our visual field. But instead of allowing that to take over all of it, I want you to put half of your attention on the closed eye visual field. Notice that you can still see that darkness, that maybe blurry colorness, and that it is taking up about half of your visual field, even if it doesn't quite seem that way. So take a minute to just recognize that you can see both of these at the same time. The external world out in front of you and the internal aspect of the closed eye visual world. And when you've gotten a sense of the two happening at the same time, I want you to notice that the visual field in the right eye, the one that's open, that seems to be seeing a world out there, is actually happening at exactly the same distance as the closed eye darkness or semi-darkness. Again, keep your gaze gentle and diffuse. But notice that the entirety of the picture of what you're seeing, the entire visual screen with all of its colors and shapes and forms, is happening right here at the same distance, at the same closeness as the closed left eye visual field. Now, close both eyes again. Notice again that this is happening all in this close visual field. And then leaving the right eye closed, open the left eye. And for another minute, we'll do the same thing. Notice the darkness in the right eye, that semi-view, that semi-colored view. And notice how the brain immediately wants the external visual field to take over, to take precedence and take over the majority of the visual field. But don't let it. Bring some of the attention back to the darkness on the right side of your field. Notice that the visual field in front of you is actually happening at the exact same distance as the blackness or the semi-darkness behind the right eye. Stay relaxed. Keep breathing. And just allow the visual field to come to you, so to speak. We're not grasping out towards it and pulling it in. We're just relaxing and allowing it to be the way that it is without the additional filter of distance put upon it. And when you have the feeling that it's happening right here in the same space as the closed right eye, I would like you to open both eyes and notice if it's still right here, right up as close in your experience as the closed eye view once was. Notice that it's big and it's expansive all the way out to the periphery of both sides. Notice that you might have a feeling of depth, but that even if that is there, the actual visual field, the whole experience of the visual field itself is happening right here at zero distance, just as close in exactly the same space as the blackness or the semi-darkness behind the closed eyes. And if you do feel this, if you do experience this where everything is very, very close in the visual field, just notice if it seems like there is anything behind it or in front of it, so to speak, watching it like a screen, watching it like a movie. Especially if you have a feeling of fear or this is too close or this is uncomfortable, just notice, what is it too close to? If it feels like it's close, it's because it seems like there's something in here which it is very close to. But is it? Is it possible to experience it as simply the scene with nothing that is apart from it? There is nothing standing back here viewing this visual field. It is simply a self-illuminated visual field taking up all of the space of the visual field. There is nothing else in your visual perceptual field to see than this. If you have an idea that there is darkness behind you, just notice that that can't actually be seen. There's an assumption that what I'm seeing must have something back there. But is that true in your experience? Is the entirety of your visual field just taken up by all of this? Why do we assume there's anything more? Again, if you get any sense of discomfort from this or fear or anything, just remember to relax and breathe, and that there's no reason to feel claustrophobic because there is nothing that is boxed in by this. There's nothing that is separate from this visual field that needs it to be further away for you to feel safe. It is purely an experience of the visual field in a very raw and vivid way. See if you can just maintain this relaxed way of experiencing for as long as possible. Don't cling to it. Just notice what it feels like and notice what it says about you, the seer, the looker, the witness, or the subject, and how if everything in the visual field is one unified field which stretches from everywhere to everywhere in your experience, how does that leave room for anything else to witness it or to be the subject separate from this object? Is there really anything separate from the visual field? Or is this all there is in this moment? You can try playing with this anytime throughout the day that you want. If you can't immediately come back to this very close visual experience, try one eye at a time and see what happens. Um, Please feel free to leave comments and let me know if this worked for you. I hope it was a useful exercise for you and enjoy. Happy inquiring. This next bit is a little bonus pointer that I just wanted to put in. I neglected to say it in the initial recording, and it felt weird putting it in the middle because it's clearly done like an hour later. So I just thought I would add it at the end because I think it's a really useful thing to notice when you're doing this kind of exercise. Okay, again, thank you for playing along. Notice while you have one eye closed and the other eye open that there is no division between either side of your visual field. If it seems like half of the field is dark and the other half is the real world, notice that it is all your visual field with no discernment or delineation between the two. The entirety of what you see, whether your eyes are opened, closed, one eye open and one eye closed, or any other variation, the entirety of it all is taking place in this one visual field. This is what we talk about when we talk about the visual field. It is literally everything that is experienced in that visual space, including the internal thoughts that show up as imagery. Notice that that too is all happening in this very same visual space.